Any discussion? Ms. Davis?
Mr. Reimer,
Aye.
Ms. Cunha,
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski,
Aye.
and Mr. Vaughn.
Aye. Ms. Cunha, could you please read the certification of closed session?
Sure. Whereas the New Kent County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3711 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the New Kent County School Board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the New Kent County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirement by Virginia law were discussed in closed meeting to which this certification resolution applies, and 2, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the New Kent County School Board.
Do I hear a motion to approve the certification of closed session?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Davis?
Mr. Reimer,
Aye.
Ms. Cunha,
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski,
Aye.
and Mr. Vaughn.
Aye. Everyone would please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, we move to presentations and recognitions.
Yes, sir. I think that's my
Dr.
part
Nichols?
of the agenda, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're excited to open up with none other than Quinton Elementary School, home of the Cubs. Their SCA is going to be here, or is here, I should say. So they're going to talk to you a little bit about the work that they've been doing at Quinton. So we have Paula, Hayden, and Landon. I'm not sure if that's the order, but I'm going to turn it over to Quinton Elementary. Ms. Paula, you're
Yeah.
the MC?
I'm gonna start off for that.
Okay.
We're gonna speak a little bit too.
And none other than the Brittany Hall is going to start us off.
Good evening. We represent the Quinton SCA. We really started getting the SCA going, being that we're a new school. And mainly our Student Council Association is to develop leadership skills for our students, to be able to promote communication between our students, our teachers, and our administration. A lot of community projects for just our Quinton community and outside of our Quinton community, and also to promote school spirit and pride. So you'll see our group up there, and then sorry, no, you're fine. Some of the things that we've done this year, we have found last year we did a spring gram where during the spring our SCA made flowers and they sold them to anybody. Students could come up in the morning for arrival and pick a flower and write a message to somebody. And that was such a hit last year. We just had to do gobblegrams this year. So we had thankful letters. So they had gobblegrams. You can see in that picture up there, Ms. Carreras and a lot of our SCA members were helping students write thank you notes and what they're thankful for their friends, family members, anything like that. And then the other picture showing them being delivered to classes. Our latest thing we did was a shoe drive to get rid of all of those old sneakers you have thrown in your closet. A little spring cleaning. We partnered with a family for a program for shoe recycling, and our members stood outside in the mornings at the bus loop or at the Carolina Run, and everybody just threw their shoes in the buckets. Very simple. Some other things we did are, so I think the thing that touched us and the other teachers that helped with the SCA the most was that the first little bit of money that our SCA members made, they immediately said, Miss Vick needs more markers. Mr. Powers needs more buckets for bucket drumming. Miss Slate needs more noodles. Miss Stein needs, it was something to hold her markers on her whiteboard. Like the simplest things. They were like, we need to get them things. So we coordinated and we bought them all supplies. So these are pictures of us delivering all those supplies to all of our teachers. the excitement on Miss Searle's face when she got stopwatches and tape measures. Like, it was just really fun to see. So they have done a lot of different things. I think my favorite was something we tried this year was our coffee car line ride. So how this worked was our RC member made posters. Our PTO helped us out by donating coffee for us. And during morning arrival, the students stood out there and people just literally, it was a drive-through. They handed them the money. They got a cup of coffee with however many sugars or creamers they want, and then they went on their way. So it's a good way to start off a Friday morning for our parents. And I think the students loved being out there talking, interacting. We even got quite a few donations just because they were so cute out there. But now I would like a couple of our friends to talk about what they've enjoyed about the SCA or something that the reasons why they wanted to be a part of it. And if you want to start us off as our fifth grader.
Hi, my name is Landon Gillette. I'm a fifth grader at Point Elementary. This is my second year involved with SES. Last year I was the historian, this year I'm in class representative. I wanted to be a part of the SEA so I could give back to the school and support students and teachers. This year we did a shoe drive giving second life to shoes we have grown out of. We also did coffee car line sales to raise money for extra supplies for our resource teachers. It brings me joy to be a part of this great SEA team. Thank you for your continued support.
And then Miss Hayden representing fourth grade.
Hi, my name's Hayden Muller, and I'm a fourth grade SCA class representative. I joined SCA because I wanted to be a part of a school club. I also wanted to help teachers and students out. I enjoy getting to meet new people, and I also enjoy playing group games with the SCA team, and that's how we make new friends. My favorite event that SCA has done is the coffee car line. We sold coffee to families and in the car ride line to raise money for our school. We made someone's morning better, and the best part, we made money for both the resource teachers' supplies. I'm happy I got this opportunity in SCA. Thank you.
Well, let's hear from Morris for third grade. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Did Dr. Nichols donate any tennis shoes? I'm just curious.
You know, we actually had a discussion about that. Yeah, we did. I didn't divulge what I did it.
Next time.
I got you. I have not run out of these, so that's the other. Still working on it. The future of leadership is bright, and thank you, Quentin, for being leaders. So now we're moving on to athlete of the month. So we have two athletes of the month that we're going to recognize tonight. And we are about a month behind. So I'm going to talk a little bit about basketball and swimming, even though we're now outside in spring sports. So our first athlete of the month, and Anna, it's your choice. You can either stand up here while I say these things, or you can walk up here when I'm done. I think I know what you'll choose. So come on. So our first athlete of the month is Anna Hetzel. How do you say, okay, well, I thought about you. Isn't that great? Yeah. So Anna's a sophomore and member of the girls basketball team. She's already enrolled in advanced placement and honors classes, and she has a 4.1375 GPA. She's the daughter of Tim and Melissa Hetzel. She had an outstanding season. Her performance and leadership, keep in mind, just a sophomore. And really leading that team. So she set a school record for three-pointers made in a single season with 54 made threes. Averaged 12 points a game. Led us on a historic season. Keep in mind, we had no seniors on that team. So we're going to be back and ready for more. I was actually at the game where she tied the school record for three-pointers made in a single game. I don't know that I can make 8 three-pointers in a single season. You've seen me shoot. It's not that far off. Her strong play earned her second team All-Bay Rivers District, which is an incredibly tough district, as well as honorable mention in the REAP. She's a leader by example. She consistently demonstrates dedication in the classroom. She also brings a positive attitude and strong work ethic across multiple sports. Right now, although only a sophomore, she plans to follow the enrollment pathway by attending a college or university, and she would like to take those basketball talents to the next level. And if I would bet on that, that's going to happen big time. Her next goal is to win the district and regional championship. So I'm looking forward to being at DCU one day and cheering them on in the state championship. None other than Anna Hudson. All right, our next athlete of the month is not on land, he is on sea, and is none other than Finn Leggett. Not really sea because we swim in the pool, but Finn is a senior and member of the swim team. He's working towards his advanced diploma. He'll graduate in 5 weeks and 3 days. Sorry, family, it is coming that quickly. He has a 4.09 GPA. He takes AP and honors classes. He's the son of Jason and Jen Leggett. This year he started as captain for the swim team. He added to his list of 7 New Kent High School records.
Wow.
New Kent has a long, even though we don't have a pool, we have a excellence in swimming. So that was coming into the season. This season he added the 500 freestyle and the boys 200 freestyle records. So that is 9. So if you ever go look at the swim wall, it's Finn and a couple other people. I think Bell's still on there one time. Did you
Yeah,
leave
he has
one
a
at once?
relay.
Okay, he's got a relay.
It's great to watch.
He clinched the 25-26 state championship in the 100-yard freestyle. So
Come
he is
on.
our state champion and one of the fastest races, and placed 3rd in the 50 freestyle. He's following his enrollment pathway by attending Virginia Tech in the fall. Currently, he plans either a finance, engineering, and to swim on the Virginia Tech club team. So his captain advice to the swim team next year, if you got a big team, is remember to have fun. And I'll add be fast. And the one and only Finn. Congratulations. All right, our next recognition is our senior of the month, and it's none other than Brandon Crooms. And Brandon's going to talk to you a little bit. And we sort of set the bar high with our last senior of the month who sang. So Brandon's going to take it to a whole nother level here in a minute. So incredibly proud of Brandon and got to see him really grow up, and he's got a strong support system as well. So Mr. Crooms, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So, good evening, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, school board members, Dr. Nichols, and guests. My name is Brandon Crooms, and I'm a senior at New Kent High School. I'm truly honored to be here tonight. Throughout my time in high school, I have grown exponentially. Throughout my freshman and sophomore years, I've allowed my grades to drop and my participation in class to falter. I finished my sophomore year with a 2.4 GPA and little to no plan for graduation. That was until I joined NJROTC, where Chief McDonald showed me that I could go a lot farther than I could ever believe I could. The NJROTC program taught me the importance of personal accountability, hard work, and dedication, which has allowed me to raise my GPA by nearly 4 percentage points. NJROTC's values of honor, courage, commitment have single-handedly guided me to my future endeavors and provided an academic refocus. You'll get to see a physical demonstration of this demand and focus shortly when I perform my armed rifle exhibition drill after my speech concludes. My E-decision represents a combination of enrollment and enlistment. After graduation, I plan to attend the Virginia Military Institute, where I have been conditionally accepted. There, I'll be majoring in cybersecurity. Going to VMI was a critical step for me because it will allow me to provide the rigorous academic and leadership foundation I need to achieve my ultimate goal, which is commissioning as an officer in the United States Navy. I am drawn to the Navy because both my father and brother have served, and I want to support something that's bigger than myself. I would also like to say I'm extremely grateful to Chief Zachary McDonald and Petty Officer Barbara Davis for helping me advance to this post-secondary decision, because I genuinely don't believe I'd be anywhere where I am right now without them. Chief McDonald has not only supported me, but has also supported my family by providing mentorship in my next steps. Petty Officer Davis keeps me focused and reminds me to keep the bigger picture in mind. Before I close, I want to thank Principal Strickland for selecting me for this honor of Senior of the Month. She continuously supports our NJROTC program by being present at our events, assisting with growth of the program by encouraging others to join, even at the middle school, and for specifically encouraging me at our area manager's inspection, during my commanding officer briefing, and during our inspection ceremony. Finally, I want to thank my mom and dad for their continued support and for allowing me to pursue this exciting career path. My parents have always supported me, had my back, and pushed me to be the best version of myself. Thank you again for this amazing opportunity.
Susan, you may want to. And while Brandon's setting up, just I'll give him a little bit of a pause time. The mission New Kent has always been to have programs for kids to be successful, and this program did not exist, 3 years ago. And under Chief McDonald's leadership, Petty Officer Davis, and incredible people, we've grown. I think we're looking at nearly 100, if not over 100 students in that program next year. But it's because somebody has the courage to go first, and whether it was Brandon or some of the other people, like they paved the way for future generations. And the fact that you didn't start strong, but you finished strong, that's what life's about. And I got chills and tears. So it's the floor is yours.
So first and foremost, I need a volunteer.
Oh. Guys, I didn't know that was happening. I'm nervous.
Mom and Dad, you have insurance.
Like this, right? After I say my thing, I want you to salute me and say, "Go ahead." Okay? You understand? Man, this is Brandon Crooms from New Kent NADCC requesting permission for my arm drill exhibition. Man.
Go ahead.
Man, thank you, man. Sit back. Hey, you guys.
I don't know whether the handshake, hug, or just,
You can do all.
yeah.
Well deserved.
I made that throw up myself. The one hand with the up. That took me 3 months to learn.
I don't know
Thank
that
you.
there's anybody more deserving of senior than us, so
Thank you.
I can't wait to see you on stage. 5 weeks. You got it. I think we just need to go home.
Yeah, it's a mic drop.
Oh. Board members, nice transition here. It is the month of the military child. You know how excited we are that we have a Purple Star designation across a couple of our schools, looking to have it across all 5 and be a Purple Star just division next year. We currently serve over 200 children in military families. We take great pride and honor in supporting and educating our students and partnering with our families who sacrifice so much for our country. And tomorrow, Wednesday, happens to be Purple Up Day. So we will be wearing our purple. And then we also have a change of command ceremony, I believe, Mr. Crooms, tomorrow in honor of our ROTC program. So that is the month of the military child, but as a Purple Star place, we do that every day. It is also Autism Acceptance Month. New Kent County Public Schools raises awareness, promotes understanding, and celebrates the talents and contributions of individuals with autism spectrum disorder, and that is on display across our schools. It is poetic that Quentin is here. Quentin really prides itself on being a school that promotes that understanding and celebrates it. It is a one-of-a-kind place, so it's poetic that you guys are here tonight. So it is Autism Acceptance Month. It is also School Library Month. So the library is the center of the universe and the schools. We do want to acknowledge our wonderful media specialist, Rachel Stamper at New Kent Elementary, Meg Carmine at GW, Karen Stein at Quinton, Mary Mordecai at New Kent Middle School, and Tracy McKinney at Kent High School. When they said they were buying supplies from Miss Stein, if you've ever been in that media center, I had no idea what you were gonna buy for her because she's got worms, there's, who knows what's going on in
She's
there.
got it all.
She does have it all, so it is School Library Month. Board members, I get to work with amazing kids and amazing staff every day. I'm glad we got to see a little bit of that tonight. So those are my recognitions, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Nichols. Thank you to all those who have been here. Congratulations to all those well-deserved. We're going to take a 5-minute recess in order that those who came to celebrate with the students may now depart and not have to attend the rest of the board. Howbeit, it is very exciting. Most find that it's not worthwhile to stick around. But we understand. So we'll take a 5-minute recess and begin.
And if you need any
Item on the agenda is public hearing on District 1 vacant school board seat. And just for information purposes, we will not be making a decision or an appointment tonight for that district. We will, however, address that and make the appointment in the May meeting, a regular meeting, so that we can fill that district seat. The citizens' comment procedure, if you have seen the agenda, is laid out in 3 different sections: public hearing for vacant District 1 seat, public hearing for superintendent's recommended budget, and then a citizens' comment at the end. So we have a couple of folks signed up under citizens' comment, which would be for the end, toward the end of the meeting. We had no one identified to speak on behalf of the district filling or the superintendent's budget. So we'll proceed with that. I would like to propose to the board the opportunity to, for historical purposes, allow Mr. Keith Pagano, who was in that district, one, to address how this vacancy came about, and then move forward with the candidate applications.
So I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda in order to let Mr. Pagano speak with regard to his vacancy.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
Okay. So, Ms. Davis?
Mr. Heimer,
Aye.
Ms. Cunha,
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski,
Aye.
and Mr. Vaught.
Aye. Any discussion? Anything on that? Okay. Mr. Pagano?
Thanks, sir. Mr. Chair, members of the board, Dr. Nichols and guests, thank you for the opportunity. As a former member and chair of this board, I want to briefly take this opportunity to correct and clarify the record to maintain the integrity of the process. Despite news reports, social media posts, I in fact did not resign. Simply put, my seat was vacated by law. But for this law, and this law only, I would still be on the board, still serve as chairman, and still work to propel the school district even further forward while attempting to consistently enforce the rules that apply to the board and all of its members, to which I, of course, am not immune. I am an attorney, an officer of the court, and I believe in the rule of law. As such, I've yielded to the application of this statute. I did not elect to attempt to fight it or establish an exception. In contrast, resigning from a board seat is a voluntary decision to step down, typically for personal or professional reasons, which I did not do. Vacating a seat is not discretionary. It occurs automatically when a legal requirement is no longer met, such as maintaining a residency in your jurisdiction. To be clear, my seat was vacated by operation of law due to relocation. I relocated my primary residence when I moved from District 1 to District 2 for personal and family reasons and to take care of my children. It was the right decision for my family, which is my top priority, and I would do it again. This is not a matter of discretion. And after consulting with board counsel and after carefully reviewing the applicable law, it is clear there are no exceptions to this requirement. Needless to say, the timing of the event is very unfortunate. I became aware of the law, to which I had no prior knowledge, on March 18th. I immediately requested the school board attorney to review the code section and advise me. The very next day, she provided me with final answers to my questions and what I consider to be good counsel. I then, without hesitation, advised the superintendent and several of my fellow board members. The board has now taken the correct steps and commenced the proper procedure to begin to fill the vacancy. I was really looking forward to continuing to steward the board, to serve as chair, to collaborate efforts with my colleagues both here and on the Board of Supervisors, to work through this year's budget, the building of the New Kent Elementary School project, and many other things to come, all of which must be dealt with with competent, intelligent action and fulfillment of the duty and oath of each member of the school board. I wish the board the best of luck in finding a replacement candidate, one who knows the role, understands the position of governance, and can help and assist rather than deter from achieving these important milestones. I remain fully confident in this board's ability to continue with its work with integrity and focus. The application of the rules and the business of the board will and should move forward without interruption. It's been an honor to serve. I thank you all for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pagano. Appears there's no citizens comment for, we have candidates. And in terms of the superintendent's recommended budget, there are no comments also signed up for that. So we'll move ahead to the consent agenda. Board members, by now you've had the opportunity to review the items listed in the consent agenda, including meeting minutes from March 17th, regular meeting, April 7th, special called meeting, monthly financials for the month of February 2026, as well as the superintendent's recommendations regarding personnel matters. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Ms. Davis?
Mr. Reimer,
Aye.
Ms. Cunha,
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski,
Aye.
and Mr. Vaughn.
Aye. Moving ahead to new business. Mr. Superintendent?
Yes, sir. So we'll start off with the FY 27 employee benefits. We have none other than Matt Davis, who represents Ms. Griff, who is our partner in this work. As Matt is getting ready, I was on a regional call with superintendents where they talked about healthcare increases near %. Part of the reason that ours is where it is because we have an incredible partner like Matt and McGriff, and our HR department, spearheaded by Tammy Waters and Allison Anderson, really kind of pushed that, and finance with Ms. Morgan. So we're in a different boat because we have different people steering that boat. So Matt, the floor is yours to talk to us more about benefits.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Nichols, Chairman, school board members and guests. Again, Matt Davis with McGriff MMA. We were purchased about 8 years ago, or a year and a half ago. So we'll change that name within the next year or so. I do have some good news for you. We just want to visit a few minutes with you, talk to you a little bit about the timeline first. So we're here the 14th of April. I can't believe that. But we are moving very quickly into open enrollment, which a few years ago, as you know, we changed the effective date or renewal date from October 1st to July 1st. So we'll actually hold open enrollment in the last half of May for July 1st effective date. Next slide, please. So the good news to share with you is really twofold. First of all is the thing that really dictates your renewal is about 80% of your renewal costs come from your claims. And your claims are performing very well. If we look at the kind of a middle table at the top where it says current PEPM, that's in for per employee per month, compared to the prior period through the end of February, you had a 6% growth in enrollment. Your medical claims only went up 4%, and more importantly, your pharmacy claims only went up 0%. That's incredible. And so overall, your total claim costs went up 2%. You are running a surplus year to date of about $285,000. And then in the bottom right, if you look at the large claimants, which are driving most of your costs, but your costs are relatively low. Any claim over 50% of a specific deductible, which is your reinsurance. So there are 12 of those claimants. That makes up about $2 million, $2.1 million. And then you have a few of those claimants over the $125,000 stop loss or specific, and that equates to about $557,000. I like pictures. Pictures tell a story, and this tells a great story. The current year is at the top, the prior year is at the bottom. And you can see that your claims ran really well from November 24, really all the way until July 25. We had a little bit of a blip, but have continued to run at or better than break even, except for December. In December for just knowledge purposes, was a bad claims month for all of our self-funded groups. I don't know what it was, but it just was a bad one. And then 2.2% plan costs on per employee per month basis year over year, year to date. So very good performance. Next slide, please. So this is a lot of numbers. Don't worry, we're not going to go line by line. So when you look at the claims on the prior period on the upper right-hand corner compared to the claims on the current period for rolling 12 months, not year to date, that's how we calculate your renewal. We used conservative numbers. We used 10% medical trend. Depending on who you talk to, trend can run anywhere from 8 to 12% right now, but 10% is a really good conservative number because you want to end up kind of like paying taxes. You want to break even, you don't want to over contribute, and you don't want to get a bunch of money back. So 10% is a good number. Then the number in the light blue is your per employee per month cost that are trending forward. So if I look at those claims in the prior period, it's $1,130, and then the current period is $1,134. Pretty stable, and that's what we hope for in health insurance is stability. So that means your claims cost projection is a 1% increase, which is phenomenal. So this is your renewal. These are firm numbers. So when we look at the right-hand column, you can see the top half of that page is what we call your fixed cost. That's your administrative cost to pay Anthem to process claims, manage the care. The stop loss on the specific side is the second item. So the admin cost went up about 5%. The stop loss cost went up about 13%. The average stop loss renewal right now is about 25%. So, and you had some utilization. They paid $500,000 out in claims on your behalf. So you won that. Trust me, that is a win to have a renewal like that. Gene therapy or aggregate stop loss covers you for the whole group for all claims. And in their gene therapy, it covers you for those very expensive therapies that actually cure certain conditions like hemophilia, sickle cell anemia, childhood blindness, and some other things. But they're very expensive. They range from $800,000 per treatment to $4 million. There's about 15 of those treatments on the market right now. Anyway, so your fixed costs went up 12%, your claims costs went up 1%. Even our pharmacy rebate increased, where we're not seeing that in most groups right now, so that's pretty good. When it comes directly back to the school board. So it's 3.73% overall, which is phenomenal. Anthem's average increase in the under 100 market, which you're a little bit bigger than that, for January 1 was about 18 to 20%. And you guys are coming in at right around 3.73. Next slide, please. We're not changing any benefits, except we have to make one change to the how deductible health plan as mandated by the IRS. The deductible is going to increase from $3,300 for an individual to $3,400 for individual. Family's going to go up to $6,800, $6,400. Other than that, benefits will remain the same. Also good news. So on your printed copies, I apologize. We had a printer issue and it's a little bit blurry. I promise it's not a vision test. I didn't notice until I was in the parking lot, so I apologize. But if you look at the bottom right in the blue bars, 3.84% by the time we round up to $0, so that we just makes it easier to administer. So a little bit higher than the previous page. The best news is the employees' costs don't go up. And the school board's overall cost, when you take that into account, is around 5%.
I think I heard applause.
Our folks have been working so hard on that directly.
That is great news.
That's really hats off to the New King County School Board team. So that's good news. And then the only other real major thing to share with you is the vision. We did get a shock of a 35% increase on the vision care from Anthem. So we did market it. We checked the market. The best we could do was 11% increase. No change in benefits, but moving that to Delta Dental, which kind of sounds like an oxymoron, but Delta Dental does have a great vision program. They use the BSP network, which is the largest network in the country, and that came in at 11%. All right, so the recommendations are that, for the 2026 renewal, it's renew the current benefits except for the deductible change the IRS requires. Keep employees' contributions flat, no increase. And then increase the overall funding 3.84%, 5% covered, to Newton County Public Schools costs. Delta Dental renews 0%. So no changes in coverage there, and then recommending changing to Delta Dental for the vision, 11% increase. And the final point is we do recommend adopting a reserve policy that's consistent with industry standards. We've talked about this before in meeting with you, but I think we need to formalize it. It just protects the plan, it protects the integrity of the plan and the stability of the plan should claims go sideways. And we'll come back to you with a formalized policy later in the summer and present that to you. So we'll also show you the year-end results at that time. Any questions that I can help with tonight?
I have not. Board, anyone? Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
So much of that.
So
Okay,
next up, it is that season where we have to bring our federal programs. So you'll see it across the next couple meetings. So first read and second read. So tonight we have Dr. Young, who's doing the annual plan for Title VI-B first read. So Dr. Young, the floor is yours.
Good evening, board, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, members, and this Mr. Superintendent. We're going to review the proposed spending for the Title VI-B funds. It's proposed because we based the numbers you're going to see tonight on estimates from last year, and the actual numbers come at a later time, which can be a little confusing. So we're required to do an annual review of how we utilize this funding. And we're also required to do 3 separate presentations. One, we're supposed to meet members of the community that homeschool or home educate their children about how we should use our proportionate set aside monies. And that meeting was held on February 18th. We're required to meet with our local special education advisory committee and get parent input. We did that also on February 18th. And then the third thing is to present it to all of you tonight. When Dr. Nichols signs the 6B plan, he signs that the district will provide a free and appropriate public education, develop individualized educational plans, provide for inclusive learning environments, and prevent the over-identification of students. So that goes with this funding. We have to commit to that. New Kent County provides a range of services under 14 categories as defined in IDEA. The number 14 has an asterisk because it's technically 13 under IDEA, but Virginia recognizes developmental delay as an additional category that we use with our little ones. So for the purpose of our plan, we have 14 categories. We serve students in a continuum of service delivery options, providing different levels of access to the general education curriculum as appropriate for each student. And we also provide the wide range of related services you would expect, like speech and OT and PT and all of that. When developing this plan, we have to take into consideration the local jails education program, which we do have a partnership with a local jails education program that we take into consideration when we divide up these funds. We have to submit something called a maintenance of effort, which shows that we are maintaining our effort towards special education students at a consistent rate. If our funds drop for any significant reason, we do have to file a petition as to why those funds have dropped. And Haney's a big support on our maintenance of effort reports, just saying. We also have to outline our proportionate set aside, and right now our district chooses to use the proportionate set aside funding to provide speech and language services. So if a child is identified as home education or private school or somewhere other than our schools, they can still access speech and language services with the funding that's set aside. For section 511, that is considered for general education funding, K through 12. We anticipate $751,326 in funds. That will go 100% to salaries, benefits, contracted services, and then the proportionate set aside funding. You'll notice that last year, the contracted services was less. This year, we're projecting a higher amount for contracted services because they're more expensive now, unfortunately. So if you compare last year to this year, that's the major change in our 511 funding. 619 is our funding for preschool, and we fund one, that says ECSD teacher, I apologize, should be teacher's assistant. We use that money as a partial funding for one position because it's 17,000. Any questions?
No, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, next up is Perkins Grant. So that is the Career and Technical Education Forum. And no applause needed, but Ross Miller is at the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Nichols,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, members of the board. Tonight, my pleasure to bring to you the Perkins Grant. This grant is intended to help us to strengthen our CTE department and our CTE offerings, which is career technical education for our students. The Perkins Grant is to benefit students in grades 5 through 12 and provide career opportunities and career education as they move through those grade levels. There you go. Okay, so the way in which we develop the grant is we gather feedback from stakeholders, that's teachers, that's advisory members. So in advisory members, that includes parents, that also includes industry members within the county. So this afternoon, we had a CTE advisory committee meeting. We have them several times a year, and which we have the CTE teachers as well as administrators and different industry leaders. We have a hospital person there. We also had someone from the bank and a couple other industry. The Rosie's had a representative there, and where we talk about the industry in New Kent and ways in which our students can be better prepared to enter into those industries. And we also look at labor market information that we gather from VDOE, as well as different avenues around the country to look at, hey, what does the labor market look like? And we do specialize specifically for New Kent as much as we can and surrounding counties. And so that our graduates are competitive within the market. We also do look at basically our data as far as enrollment in our different programs. One of the things that when you look at our Perkins Grant this year, we've set aside specific funding to benefit non-traditional enrollments. And so these are where you look at the traditional, basically traditional employment in certain areas and look for, well, and when I say that, thinking like, so typically an engineering world is a sort of a male dominated world. So non-traditional would be females who are enrolled in engineering classes. And basically we would like to see more non-traditional enrollments. And that is an area that we identified in our comprehensive local needs assessment. And it's something we want to look at is how do we get more females into engineering, more females into agriculture, actually, and males into culinary and things like that. So that is an area of emphasis for us this year. So some of the activities that we're funding through the Perkins Grant, to give you an idea of how much money we're talking about here, I know we just heard $751,000, not nearly that much. We're our Perkins Grant is $43,069.96.
We spend a great deal more on career and technical education
Yes.
than that. This is just the grant portion of it, but thank you for putting that in perspective.
Yeah. So so we fund a lot more in staffing, as well as there are local or state funds that we use for materials and equipment that it goes well beyond $43,000. So, but for the grant, we use it for professional development for our teachers. We use it for promotion and training in non-traditional employment. If you look at the grant this year, we've set aside some funds to be able to use for a student-run sort of career type fair for non-traditional programming. And so we're going to have sort of a fair where students who are non-traditional in their areas are going to be talking about the different enrollment pathways and different programs. CTE credential testing so that we can make sure that our students are receiving credentials that are industry recognized. We use industry production software such as the Adobe Suite in some of our classes that are in basically media production. We use it to purchase some of our CTE curriculum, as well as updating our technology equipment. This year, I wanted to sort of draw highlights to a couple of new programs we got going on this year. So we're expanding our culinary program. As you are aware, we added in baking. So for that, we need some extra equipment. And so some of our money is going to that. We also have been partnering this year with the Commonwealth Center for Advanced Manufacturing, and adding in a new program at the middle school that is advanced manufacturing. We're excited about that one. We partnered also with the Hanover Hampton Educational Development or Economic Development Consortium, who provided us a nice lump sum of funds that we use to purchase equipment. And so that's another add-on that we are putting in place this year, that some of the funds will go to that as well. And then we also, another exciting piece that we're adding on this year is we have had 2 students who have been accepted into the Rappahannock Community College electrical program. And so they accepted 10 students in the region. 2 are coming from New Kent. So we're excited to be able to provide that, and part of these funds will go to provide tuition to that, as well as an expansion on our welding program through Rappahannock Community College as well. So those are the different things that we fund through the Perkins Grant. Again, $43,000, but it goes a long way to provide new experiences for our students. This is up for vote tonight. It is single read vote, and hopefully with your vote. Any questions you have, I'm happy to answer these.
I do have just one. Will you remind me, are they, when you request that amount, is that like guaranteed or, okay, perfect.
They tell us how much we're gonna get, and we're guaranteed to get a certain amount. That number, similar to what Dr. Young mentioned about it being proposed, that is our preliminary number. And so we will get a final number later this summer, and we will adjust the grant at that point. We just need initial approval so that we can get the plan approved, and then they'll tell us a number and we'll make adjustments. We don't come back to y'all once we get the final number, but we're asking your approval on these are the things that we're going to fund.
We'd be asking for a lot more than 43,000.
Oh, yes.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, if we got our own way, it'd be a lot.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
for the non-traditional employment promotion and training,
Yeah.
do you have folks come into the area who are non-traditional, considered employees in those, say, female engineers or whatever is?
So we do some of that, and we also basically highlight our students who are in non-traditional pathways already and have them do promotion as well for us.
Okay.
So some of our students, some of our females who are in engineering and are in agriculture, they do some promotion on getting more students in as well. But
Okay.
yes, we do some of that.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
So it is also that time of year where we are looking at next year, and so Ms. Morkheim is going to bring to you student fees, fines, and charges. Oh my. Policy committee and updates. So this, yes.
Mr. Chair, board members, tonight we're just asking your approval for the 26-27 student fees, fines, and charges. These are in board docs, just updating a couple scheduling updates with different courses being offered. And some changes to club memberships. I believe the dual enrollment price is going up for credit. Currently we have it set at 20. I'm not sure if that's like finalized for sure yet. So there might be a little bit of adjustment to that particular figure. So I'll take any questions you may have.
Board have any questions? No?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next one is mine. Board members, we are in need of a slight schedule change, which we've made you aware of, but because we post this calendar, it requires board action, it has to come before you tonight. So we were supposed to meet on Tuesday, May 5th at 6 p.m. here. We'd like to change it, due to some schedule conflicts to Monday, May 4th, 2026. And it actually helps our office too, because that is the big scholarship night for high school. on the 5th. So inadvertently, it's helping us as well. But this does require action from you guys at the action agenda time.
All right, thank you, sir. School board goals review and update.
Yes, sir.
Back to you again,
I
Dr. Nichols.
don't really have anything in this one because of how significant the other portions of the agenda are. Ms. Anderson is ready to present the recruitment and retention update, but we're going to push that to the May meeting because you have 2 public hearings and everything else on this agenda. The policy section, I will actually get to section C under unfinished business. Under Project New Kent Elementary, Mr. Hathaway and I are meeting next week, so I can get an update on that, and I'll share that with the board and then share publicly at our May meeting. So.
All right, and we'll move to unfinished business.
Yes, sir. So the first item under unfinished business will stay unfinished, unfortunately, through tonight. And that's the superintendent's recommended budget. House and Senate are supposed to be coming back in the next week. Ms. Morgan, floor is yours.
Yes, board members, Dr. Nichols, thank you. I just have a brief update. I do want to just kind of keep us moving a little bit forward with the information we do have when we have it. As you know, we requested an increase of the 1.2 million from the county for the county transfer. And currently, as is in their most recent proposal, they have a $700,000 figure on that line. So what I'm proposing here is that we simply shift that $500,000 deficit over into a state revenue line currently, just while we await what the state will do in our upcoming calc tool and see where those revenues will land, mainly so that when the county advertises the budget, it's high enough that whatever actual number ends up being, that we're good to adopt that budget.
We don't anticipate receiving another $500,000 from the state. So we will come back to you with our recommendations to balance in those pieces. But to meet the needs of a public hearing and those pieces, that's kind of where we are.
Obviously, another update is with the information that Mr. Davis provided to us this evening. That is great news. I'm so proud of Team New Kent for all of their hard work in making that possible. We are going to keep the 7% line item that we have in the budget for our healthcare, mainly to take on that additional increase for our employees so that employees will not see increases in their premiums, which is amazing. Also, also, as I believe I told you, we were not budgeting for healthcare for new position requests. And as you know, we can provide a $30,000 benefit for an employee for family coverage, for example, if someone does elect benefits. So we'll have a little bit of contingency built in there. One change that we do have, we will look at eliminating the new teacher health and PE position that we had slated for the middle school. The team has worked internally to find a solution to having that need met so that we're able to save the 78,017.
And just real quick,
Yep.
we do still have a health and PE middle school opening, so I don't want anybody to see this and go, we still do have that opening. We don't have the additional one. We've been able to find savings.
Excellent.
Efficiency. So.
That funding that's going into the contingency line will most likely be cut completely out of the budget as we balance with our state revenues. The 82,158, we did speak about this a little bit, I think publicly, just about the summer school, how effective that is, which students were able to get in those programs, and just the need for the after school remediation programs and to really support those and put additional funding into those programs, because we're the students are more readily available and able to stay after school and really target those students. So that's a shift that we're proposing.
And board members, our summer school this year is still grant funded, so we will kick it off June 2nd, whatever the date is. This would be for the following year. And we had several board questions and comments about the impact of summer. We will still do credit recovery for high school students and those essential pieces that we need to do. That's our proposal.
Outside of that, we're kind of just waiting to see. We're going to try to push on the salaries as much as we're able to in balancing the state revenues that are coming in and trying to hold on as many of those new position requests that we can. And just really hoping for the best and trying to make the most impact possible.
So we should have a, hopefully a more conclusive update, at the May 4th meeting, as long as the General Assembly resolves the budget piece.
Yes, there will be a lot of information, I think, at that meeting that we'll have to work through. And then we'll be asking you to approve the budget at that point, and then also, we would then bring it back to you later in May, hopefully, to adopt it at that time. Once we have a really good idea of what our salaries will be, with your permission and Dr. Nichols communicating that with you, we will look to put out our contracts. So we hope to do that soon. We're happy we have the information on the healthcare renewal. I think hopefully that will make staff happy as well.
And board members, you greenlighted us on the contracts the past couple of years, and it's really helped us. So as soon as we have that state number, we feel like we can finalize it and move that forward. So, but we'll communicate that every step of the way.
Any budget questions?
I do. With the model, the model change after the grant is over for summer school, do we have a model, or are there other places that we have looked at that are doing the after-school remediation as opposed to the summer school model?
Yeah, we have a pretty strong elementary model for summer.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, for after school. Sorry, I said summer. I think what I think we need to spend more time is formalizing the middle and high school piece, and kind of seeing, and I don't want to speak for Mr. Miller, but kind of seeing like what are the best practices that get the most students related to. I think elementary does have that figured out. But
which is currently also grant funded. And so that grant money would go away. So these funds will go to continue the model that's going on at elementary and to allow us to expand to middle and high. And where we'll use some of the things we've learned from elementary to do that, as well as looking to some other divisions of the way they did that.
Yeah, so
The elementary model is really good, right?
yeah, we see this thing coming, so
Yes.
we've got a year to,
Yes.
okay, thank you. Thank you.
sure.
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
I was going over the stipend schedule, and I would like to respectfully recommend that a review of the current stipend schedule be conducted at some point. Obviously, there's a lot going on, to ensure that club sponsors and coaches are fairly compensated in accordance with the requirements of the position, including time, responsibilities, preparation, competitions, etc. Over my teaching career, I have coached in various positions, and I can attest to the amount of time, work, and dedication that it takes, that's required. So as an example, over the past several months, we've had wonderful presentations highlighting the amazing work being done by Beta and DECA clubs, and the outstanding performance by our students under the leadership of the current sponsors. Yet both Beta and DECA sponsors are paid the lowest stipend, which is, grade 1, so lowest grade on the scale, which is about $590 per year. It seems to me that the stipend they receive is not commensurate with the amount of work and results they are producing. So hopefully this will also encourage more teachers to consider coaching academic clubs, which in my opinion they do not get enough recognition. So this is just an idea. I know people have a lot on their plate. It may not be something that we could even do for this coming year and increase their stipends this year, but hopefully maybe we can consider it for
I
next
will
year.
say we're on the same page. I will remind the board in the presentation, we did increase the stipend schedule. So one thing we've done to try to help with just making sure that it does move regardless of like the decisions that we're making is that we tied it to a teacher scale. So that always when the teachers were getting increases, at least that those stipends were moving up. Those stipends can be very stagnant in other divisions and just not ever move. This year or proposal for next year, we are moving that up to a master's scale, which increases it a little bit further. But we do have, HR has worked, Allison Anderson has worked on reviewing stipends, comparing to other districts, not to say that we're winning but just to make sure that we're kind of in range, but certainly, absolutely, we agree that that's something that can always continue to be looked at, and we're happy to look at those items.
Thank you.
that's a great suggestion, recommendation that they be reviewed, and
Right.
And because you're right, often academic involvement gets left behind athletic involvement many times. And as we heard in the presentations, um, the beta teachers are,
All in.
yeah, they're all in and
Absolutely.
providing on their own in a lot of cases. And yeah, so we definitely want to, that's a great, great recommendation.
Absolutely.
Uh,
We can bring
Ms.
that back to
Cunha.
you at our. next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other
Anyone
questions
else?
or-
Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Morgan.
So our next presentation is a second read. Ms. Lawler and Ms. Hutchinson are back. I didn't know they had a routine. And, board members, many of you have had an opportunity to kind of dig in to the curriculum. So they do not have a long presentation for you tonight. They really have the recommendations on a number of years and are more than equipped to answer questions. So the floor is yours, guys.
Thank you very much. Chairman Dr. Nichols, members of the board and members of the community, Kim and I come to you this evening for the second time to talk about the curriculum adoption as part of House Bill 2777.
So our proposal for elementary is just elementary math. We are proposing to purchase one set of K through 5 materials for each building, electronic access for each teacher and student, and then professional development. The cost is just over $35,600 per year.
Secondary is looking at expanding the math program that we've been using. That's Math Space. With this would bring us physical materials for teachers, electronic access for teachers and students that does allow for print the resources that are available there as well as professional development. We're hoping for the 5-year option that comes in at $126,955. Then for secondary English, here too, it would be physical materials for teachers, electronic access for teachers and students, again with the option to print the materials there as well as professional development. Again, hoping for the 5-year option at $236,905.
Board members, we do have this money in our textbook fund. I believe that question was asked last time, which was a great question. Just wanted to reiterate that for anybody watching.
Any questions from the board?
Yeah, what would the cost be for the 3?
Give me 1 second. I printed out my notes from last time, just in case.
Yep,
there's such
just
a
in
question.
case.
You've had this around before.
Yeah, so, let's see, for the math space option, oh, this is teeny tiny, because what I've got written out big is my by year cost. I can give you it by year, or I can pull it and let you know here shortly.
Can you forward and let you know in Haney? Could this be something to include on our possible reductions if there were a budget issue?
I
I
think
know it's textbook.
because the funds exist in textbook, Mr. Reimer, it's not really gonna help us. And we can't put it, I love the idea. We
Yeah.
can't put it in another category.
There are local match requirements for the textbook fund, so what we do is the state provides the textbook fund, we put it directly in the textbook fund. And then we come to you annually.
So we
kind
can
of
get
do-
no savings from our current budget by.
The funding is available for all of this for the 5 years, and there would be no savings as far as, saving money or using it in a different
Okay.
way. It has to be
That's
used. for
all
this.
I'm
Yeah,
exploring.
absolutely. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Ryman. Anyone else?
I have a quick question.
Mhm.
Can we go back to the slide that has the breakup with the costs? Yeah, so the elementary math, can you remind me why we're just choosing the 1 year at the cost of 35K?
So Kidem does a 1 year at a time purchase right now.
Oh, so they don't offer like, okay.
And to put it into perspective for a 1-year option, and if I had my handy dandy four function calculator that we were talking about when you guys came to visit, I can do this math really quickly.
Right.
Without that though, Math Space I can tell you is 30,000 a year. 5-year option is 25,000. The 7-year option is 20,000. So that's about like the rough estimate and difference when it comes to pricing it out by year. For English, the 3-year option is 60,771, and then it's a big drop down for the 5 years. So the 5-year option is $47,381. Now, that's not going to be charged to us by year, but that's just the overall cost.
Given that we can't have any budgetary impact to the rest of the budget, I'm less interested.
Yeah.
So elementary math just offers the 1-year option.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Any other questions? Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I lost my place.
VSB policy
Yes,
update,
sir.
sir.
So, board members, last month, we did the first read on VSBA policy updates. I haven't received any questions related to that, so that is in front of you for a second read. There was a policy or two that will require the superintendent to do regulations upon approval. So if approved tonight, we will work on the regulations and share those with you. Even though regulations don't require board action, they do require board information. So we would share those with you, but happy to answer any questions if you do have them.
Are there any questions? No?
Mr.
Okay.
Chair, I just noticed, Dr. Nichols, maybe
Yes,
you could explain, maybe you just explained that, but there's some areas in some of those policies where we have to make choices, right? Choice A, B, or C, or fill in the blank, include the list of individuals, et cetera.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what you're referring
Yes,
to,
ma'am.
that we can do that after?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great.
Anyone else? Thank you, sir. Okay, we've come to the point of citizen comment period in the agenda. Before we begin, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight to share. Please note that comments are limited to 3 minutes. Once the timer sounds, please promptly finish your comment and return to your seat. It is customary for the school board not to make comment during the citizen comment period. Please make sure your contact information is provided on the sign-up sheet if you would like someone to follow up with you. And thank you again for coming. We have two, Ms. Leslie Tribbett, if you would. Welcome.
Thank you. School board members, staff and administration, parents, thank you for giving me 3 minutes. Before Easter break, my 13-year-old sons told me that they were given vision and hearing tests. Perhaps I'm okay with these medical examinations being administered to my children, perhaps not. I may have signed an online or hard copy permission form, but I don't remember doing so. My concern is not this particular situation or my thoughts about this particular exam. My concern is for overall transparency and ease of use for parents regarding parental notification rights and protocol and opt-out instructions. My research turned up 16 pages of Virginia state code that is required by school board to give notification to parents. I'm not even going to try to go into them all. The most concerning for me were number 1, the Youth Health Risk Behavior Survey in middle and high school, the Virginia Youth Surveys in middle and high school, which among other things, ask my students about their sexual behaviors, my 13-year-old students, and their drug and alcohol use, among other questions. 2 days ago, the governor signed Virginia House Bill 355 for middle and high school students to provide mental health screening. I may or may not be okay with that. Some parents may or may not be okay with that. But I sure as heck want to be given prior notice of it. And I don't want it buried in pages and pages of online information given to me at the end of the school year. My request to you, school board members, is to provide written notification either by mail or online of all health, medical, behavioral, and risk assessment tests, screenings, and surveys. I would like for each one of those to require an initial understanding the scope of the assessment, the options for opt-out and parental notification, and I'd like to have to sign and initial each one of those individually. I prefer that it be in writing and on paper, so it's brought to our attention, because who reads the reams and reads the notifications we get when we're signing at our doctor's office, at the bank, our mortgage papers? Some of us do. I could point out a couple of you who read every page, but not all of us do. And it's very important that we know what our children are being subjected to when they're outside of our care. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Keith Pagano.
Chair, school board members, Dr. Nichols, in my almost 2.5-year tenure on the board, I've seen the large majority of the school board come together with different and diverse backgrounds to discuss topics, engage in healthy debate, apply rules to the best of their ability, and act as a cohesive team in support of the school, students, division, administration, and the overall education and academic excellence of our children. Team New Kent not only strives for that excellence every day, but our children undoubtedly deserve it. The focus must remain solely on that goal. Talk of political constituency and individual initiatives and ideas are not proper on a governing board whose primary responsibility are the children and students of this county. Remarks were made at a previous regular session board meeting that were selfish, irresponsible, unprofessional, unsubstantiated, and completely without merit. Neither myself nor any of my colleagues on this board have ever engaged in bullying, demeaning, belittling, or dismissive behavior. Nothing could be further from the truth. Under the law, no single member of this board has the power or authority to do anything, and being advised of that fact isn't buzzword worthy. It's simply the application of the rules, laws, norms, and protocols to which each member subscribed and vowed to uphold, whether that board member likes the results or not. For those still serving and those seeking to serve and fill the vacant seat, I ask you to strongly consider and take into account the following. As a member of the school board, you are elected by the community and accountable to every resident in this district. That includes the individuals who voted for you, those who do not, and those who didn't even participate in the election. All of those people hold equal standing in that regard. The key responsibility of your role on the school board goes beyond representing any single group or viewpoint or your own. The purpose of the school board is to govern in the best interest in the entire school division. That is the gold standard. And that means prioritizing the success, safety, and well-being of our students, not yourself, supporting our educators and our staff, not distracting them, and ensuring that we are responsible stewards of public resources, not wasting them. While you may value and actively seek input from the community, your obligation is not simply to reflect public opinion in any given moment. It is to weigh that input carefully, alongside data, policy, long-term outcomes, and to make decisions that strengthen our schools for all our students, both today and in the future. I lay out this foundation to say this: you are elected by the community, but you serve the school system. Every decision you make must continue to be guided by what will best serve student achievement, system stability, and the long-term success of our schools, not a political constituency, and certainly not a personal agenda. Your personal thoughts and inputs, as well as those of the community, are important to take into consideration. But once you assume that seat, your allegiance to yourself and your political constituency weighs much less in the face of your oath. It seems imperative to remind the community as a whole that the school board seat is in fact not left, not right, and it's not personalized to the holder of the seat. It's smack in the middle, and the target are the students of our district, the teachers, administrators, and superintendent who tirelessly support them on a daily basis. I'm going to ask you deference to give me 30 more seconds. Therefore, it is a dereliction of duty and a violation of your oath to serve your own self-interest, or to put force or pressure on others directly or indirectly to do the same to achieve your personal goals by using the power and position of the seat you occupy. Skirting the rules and procedures and serving your own self-interest is incompetence at the highest level, a gross misunderstanding of the position, and if continued, may rise to the level of just cause for removal from the board. To the Facebook and keyboard warriors who fuel the fire of unfounded gossip as a result of these comments, I challenge all of you to stand up, walk away from your computer, do something of value for your neighbors, perform acts of service in the betterment of your community, or help someone, perhaps a student of our county, who is in need, instead of contributing to division without merit. That said, I have every confidence in the New Kent County School Board, the superintendent, and the division leadership, who do nothing but pursue as a whole the best interests of New Kent County schools and strive for the ever-expanding academic excellence on a daily basis to continue to do so wholeheartedly. I'm further confident that the majority of this board as a whole is committed to taking the focus off of themselves and putting a laser focus on the larger, more important work of the board and school division. I believe with all my heart that the majority of this board and my colleagues will continue to work collaboratively in pursuing big goals for this county, including the passing of this year's budget, the budget in years to come, the building of a New Kent Elementary School, and the relentless pursuit of academic excellence. I fully support them and wish them continued success, and I will continue to avail myself as a resource in and when and if the need arises. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We move to action items. The first item is approval of the Perkins Grant. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Ms. Davis?
Mr. Reimer.
Aye.
Ms. Cunha.
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski.
Aye.
Mr. Vaught.
Aye. Motion passes. Approval of student fees, fines, and charges, policy JN. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Davis?
Mr. Reimer.
Aye.
Ms. Cunha.
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski.
Aye.
Mr. Vaught.
Aye. Next item is school board calendar update.
Move to approve the school board calendar update.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Davis?
Mr. Reimer.
Aye.
Ms. Cunha.
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski.
Aye.
And Mr. Vaught.
Aye. The next item is adoption of math and English curriculum as presented. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Thank you, Ms. Davis.
Mr. Reimer.
Aye.
Ms. Cunha.
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski.
Aye.
And Mr. Vaught.
Aye. Do I, approval of the VSBA policy update? Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Davis?
Mr. Reimer.
Aye.
Ms. Cunha.
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski.
Aye.
And Mr. Vaught.
Aye. All items approved. We come to the part of the agenda for comments. Start with the school board members. Mr. Reimer, we may start with you.
Tonight, I'm just going to pass. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Dombrowski?
With it being the month of the military child, I just wanted to express my gratitude to, first of all, everyone who is involved in the military, and the service that they provide for our country is extremely appreciated. And to their families, because I know that they have to make sacrifices along with everything that their parents are doing. I had the great opportunity to visit Fort Unity at the high school with Miss Gray, and to just talk briefly with those students, to learn about some of their experiences and the challenges and the things, the resiliency that they've learned in the process of having to move a lot. I'm just really grateful that all the effort was put into making the schools a Purple Heart schools. That means a lot to them and personally to me. So I'm very grateful for that. Katie, thank you for all your work that you're doing on the budget. It's phenomenal. Well done, everyone, on the health renewal. That's amazing to have no increase, and just very grateful for everyone's efforts and what they're doing to make New Kent School so awesome.
Ms. Cunha?
Yes, thank you. I had the opportunity to visit the subclasses at the middle school and high school last Thursday. And I really want to thank Mr. Miller for making that possible, and Ms. Hutchinson for being my liaison that day and taking me around. It was really wonderful to see firsthand the amazing instruction, the teaching going on, classroom management, the engagement of students and the conversations that were generated. Not to mention that intro culinary class is way beyond introduction. I will tell you, they were making bolognese sauce. I mean, amazing. So, that's why it's so important for school board members to have an opportunity to go in and really observe the wonderful things that are going on. So kudos to everyone, especially those teachers. I'm not going to mention their names, but thank you for welcoming me into your classrooms. I also got to speak to Dr. Cartwright. She's the
Reading specialist.
right, reading specialist. And it was so clear to me that her small group is 15 students. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is not a small group. So I'm really advocating that we really feel we need another reading specialist. So it's so important for us to go in and see where those critical needs are. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
I would just like to thank the board for the honor of serving as chair. I take that very seriously. And also kudos to administration. The work that's done around here is absolutely amazing. I'm just astonished at how things get done and how they move and how the students are tremendous benefactors of all your hard work. So thank you. Thank you very much. And at that point, I'll pass it on to Dr. Nichols.
Thank you, sir. I had comments, and I will tell you that Brandon Crooms really threw me tonight. Like, he really moved me.
I understand
I
that.
just think, we have it there and we say it all the time, but what makes Team New Kent special isn't a program, a building, or in a single initiative. It's the people that drive it. When I said people, it's staff, it's families, it's community members, it's student leaders. It's like, they just show up every day and they believe students can succeed, even when kids don't think they can succeed. So when we say Team New Kent, it's not just a catchphrase we put on the shirt. It's powerful. It's alignment about student outcomes. It's a shared purpose. Like, when we work together as a team, we move mountains. This Navy program, we've gone from 30 kids to over 100 kids in 3 years. Like, the Navy can't figure out how to do that. And we've done it. And here's how we do it. But we do it because we employ really smart people, and we get out of the way and we give them the resources, and we say, do great things for kids. And we're going to be your safety net support. So when it comes to the healthcare renewal or the budget or there's all just pieces of the puzzle. And I pulled Brandon's grades up when he was talking, and he's, he had a rough start, but he's got a family that cares about him. He's got a community that loves him, and he's got teachers that advocate for him. And he's got a program that was funded in our budget that's letting him thrive. So when we approve this budget, we're going to approve a budget that's going to open the door for the next Brandon Crooms, because that's what we do every day. So it's an honor and a privilege to serve, and I'm just thankful every day for the opportunity. So Team New Kent, thank you for being the difference and kind of making my job pretty easy. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, upcoming meetings. The next meeting of the school board will be regular session Monday, May 4th, as approved tonight, to be held right here in the historic courthouse boardroom at 5:30. And with that, this meeting is adjourned at 7:30.